to another episode, of course, of From the Shadows. I don't know why I stuttered when I said that, but anyway. If, as always, guys, if you are enjoying the series, please do drop a like on the video. Now, we're going to start off, of course, with a question of the day, and yeah, thank you for all the submissions of questions of the day. We're getting so many, and it's fantastic. And yeah, so as always, if you do have any questions of the day, drop it in the comments with the hashtag QOTD. Now, today's question of the day is your thoughts on the championship next year. It's very open-ended. There's a lot that can be said about that, but I'm going to try and keep it relatively short because we don't want to go on for ages about it. Basically, as always, the Champions League, the Championship is going to be crazy next year because it just always is. You never know what's going to happen with it. You know, I expected Fulham to do quite well this year. Yeah, no, it didn't happen. I can't imagine that anyone expected Bournemouth to do quite as well as they did. I expected them to do quite well, but only because of based on what Football Manager seems to make them do quite well. And based on that, I expect Huddersfield to do quite well at some point in the near future because I always find they get promoted on my saves, particularly on FM14 they did. Now, as for who's going to win it, I really don't know. I don't know, you know, who knows what Paul Clement's going to be like at Derby. Middlesbrough looked incredibly strong, but in the final just didn't quite have the, you know, and the team's coming down. It's really, really tough. I mean, what do you think is going to happen in the Championship next year? Who do you think is going to excel? What's the surprise packages? Who's going to go down? What about the clubs being promoted into the Championship? The McDons, Bristol City, and of course Preston. So let me know what you think in the comments, and of course if you've got any questions, drop them in the comments as well. Right, so in the last episode we had our first derby of this save and we lost 3-0, and I can't say I was hugely surprised. We're going to have to really get a lot better, but I just think that at the moment there is going to be a golfing class between us and some of the best teams in this league. That is fundamentally obvious, but it's going to take us some time to really get there, and I think that over the course of this first season we're just going to do our best, try to stay up comfortably, and you know, try to just secure our safety. That's the main thing, whilst trying to bring through some of the youngsters that we've got, as well as looking at other signings, but also conserving the cash, because the cash is rolling in. We're £4 million in the green now, and it is delightful because I think we're going to be about 10-12 million up by the end of the season, depending on, you know, competitions and whatnot, from prize money and that. So it's looking very, very nice. So I'm hoping next year we can really go out and cherry pick some of the best young players that I can find using the sort of style of picking players that I do. Also, guys, I've seen some more suggestions about how I find the players that I find, the regents particularly. That's really all I do. If you really want to find out how, episode 64 of my Portsmouth save, I did like a whole section where we basically will go through that, where I went through the entire method that I use, basically. It's nothing too complicated, and it's been done to death, really, but there you go, that's how you do it. I might do an updated version at some point, but not just yet. And apologies for the fact that I haven't put either of the tactics from my current saves up yet. I will do it. It's just, I've still been recovering. I'm still not well, really, unfortunately. It's hell. But I'm well enough to do the videos, but putting up tactics, it's not as simple as just me uploading it, because it is going on my site, so I've got to make images and stuff, and I will do it, I promise. Just hang tight. But I will also show you my tactic a little bit more in today's episode, just in case, so you can see the instructions if you want to make it yourself. So we started off at home against Bordeaux. Bordeaux were really doing quite well in the league, so it wasn't a big surprise to me that we were unable to get the win against them. But what was pleasant for me to see is that, if nothing else, was that Alberto Cherry got on the score sheet again. It was nice to see him scoring, basically, for it. That was the main thing for here. Roman Hamouma gave them the lead on 4 minutes, and we did actually equalise, but it was massively against the run of play, and we never really deserved it in the end. Roman Hamouma then made it 2-1. It was instant reply, basically. We were 2-1 down. We did push a little bit, but we just couldn't seem to break them down. We had a lot of possession at times, although in the end it ended up still being them. But hey, Musilou's own goal was a bit disappointing from a corner. The ball got ricocheted around and ended up coming in off Musilu in the end, which was a shame because I don't think it was going to go in otherwise. But another defeat, which was poor. But again, you've got to expect us to lose a lot more games this year than last year. It's just one of those things. We're not going to be able to jump straight in like we did in Ligue 2 and get mid-table in our first season. It ain't going to happen. But we then did get ourselves a good result, and this one I feel was a deserved win. Admittedly, they had more shots, but it was long shots. About clear-cut chances, we had 5, and probably should have done better with our chances, if I'm honest. But Dominic Gape, of all people, to score the winner. A lovely little ball slipped through by Quinten Pereira. Gape just rounds the goalkeeper and puts it in, and it was great. It was into the gaping net behind it. A huge win for us. I mean, admittedly, Lille have not been fantastic this year, but I didn't expect to go there and win, and we did. They had some good chances to equalise, and we actually had some heroic goalkeeping from Benjamin Siegrist in this game as well. So that was good to see, but a win was all important, because we had a slightly more winnable game coming up after that, which of course we were able to win. And look who did it for us in this one. Yet again, it was Alberto Cherry. Now, it was first half stoppage time, and we really probably murked him a little bit here, but we were the home team. We're going to have to get results like this season. That's just how we're going to have to get some of our wins. gave us the lead with a brilliant header on the stroke of half time, and that is what he's in there for. Those headed goals that we didn't really have before, but now we do with Cherry because he's so good in the air. Now, in the second half, we actually kicked on quite nicely, and just after I made a substitution rather, Cherry actually made it 2-0 with his second of the game, and that's a bit more like it from him, but you know, they did really start to pile on the pressure, and they're not a bad side at all. They were right up there in the title race, I believe, a couple of seasons ago. It may have even been last year. But Loic Landry, got on back for them on 80 minutes, and then they won a penalty, which I personally didn't think was a penalty, but it was given, and they actually missed it. Like, he missed the goal completely, which was brilliant. Jean-Philippe Gbamin missed the net, and we managed to hang on for another win, which was great because we needed those results. Unfortunately, we kind of had to have some tough away games coming up. Now, next we went to Stade Caen, and it just didn't happen for us. We were at 1-1 at half-time, which wasn't bad. Mathieu Duhamel gave them the lead on 15 minutes, but Alberto Cherry, with another header, made it 1-1 just before half-time. Good stuff, I thought. You know, we're not playing well, but we're in the game, and that was brilliant. Unfortunately, in a space of like 5 minutes of the second half starting, Hervé Basile gave them a 3-1 advantage, and it was just, they had us at that point. And then we made a couple of subs, and then Duhamel made it 4, and I was a little bit embarrassed at that. Johan Villa, though, did manage to get one back for us to sort of spare our blushes a little bit, but not a great deal, if I'm honest. We were been a bit hit and miss at the moment. And next up, we went away to Montpellier, who unfortunately were bottom of the league going into this game, and we were very unfortunate, I think, to lose this one. Jean Desart gave them the lead on 77 minutes, and we'd missed some really good chances, so it is our fault. But these are the sort of games that I would have really preferred to get a draw out of, at least. Pavlyninkov was sent off, but it was too late for anything to matter. He was sent off literally as the last kick of the game, practically. So, poor, but we're still doing okay, and that's the main thing, really. We're not too far off the pace. We're 13th in the league. We've got 13 points from 11 matches, which is better than I was expecting, so I'm happy with that. And we have a game in hand on some of the other teams around us as well. 4 points above the drop zone. I think we can do it to stay up. I think we've got enough in the tank. We're looking good so far. It would take a huge drop in form overall to actually see us fall away like that. As you can see, though, Nantes, look at how well they've done this year. 24 points already. They're right in the title race, and that's fantastic to see. We play a team who are actually doing really, really well, up in 6th place, so this could be a tough one for us today. As you can see as well, though, Alberto Cherry, 8 goals in 11 matches, second best goal scorer in this division. I think he's got 20 league goals in him this year, overall. I think he's going to have a bad spell at some point. So I think, if I had to guess how many goals he'll score for us this year, I'm saying 22. That's if he doesn't get a horrible injury. Anyway, let's get into the squad so you can have a little look. He's the only player to have scored more than 1 goal for us this year as well. Didat, Aubin, Gape, Ikebane and Mvia have all scored goals for us at various times this season, but he's the only one with more than 1. As for assists, Didat, Mvia and Pereira have 2 apiece. Need to be a little bit more of those perhaps, but it will be difficult this year with the lack of goals. Cherry, though, with 2 man of the match awards, no surprises. Their average rating, of course, is still Didat, though, despite Cherry's performances. Didat is still turning in those performances. Aerial challenges is Aubin. Key passes, 45 for Didas. I still want to compare him, as I always do, Rosario King with the key tackles, interceptions as well. And as for value, of course, is Alberto Cherry. Let's just take a little look and see if he is still up there with the stats of the other teams. In fact, he's still got the most key passes of any player in this division by quite some distance. If he stays fit, hey, we need him, basically. And look at that, Peta 10. That is commitment to the cause. Right, let's get going in and see what we can come up with today. It's going to be tough, but we are at home, so you just never know what's going to happen. It could be a horrible result, it could be a great result. We've had some surprise ones, like the first game against Toulouse. The Monaco game was a big surprise. I was surprised to win away at Lille, even though they're kind of struggling at the moment. So, you know, who knows what can happen today. This is going to be a toughie, though. Ooh, I really can't wait for the home game against PSG. That's going to be a fun one. So what we got here: Cherry, Didat, Pereira, Janvier, Gape, Bulens, Aubin, Musavikin, Cavalli, Cantini. Is that really wise? Is Peta 10 still not really... he picked up a slight knock, and unfortunately it's kept him out for long enough that he's sort of stuck in that loop, but he is getting fitness back as good. Abraham and Barr can also play there, but it's great to have Cavalli to actually bring him in as a backup. Is there anyone I'd rather have on the team? No, I'm actually pretty content with that. Gamiat can fill in anywhere we need him to. Actually, wait, no. We don't need Hugo and Antelek on the bench. Antelek's finally back, but he's not got any fitness yet at all. So let's jump in. I'm hoping for a good performance from Cherry today. Bulens is starting to find himself. He's getting a lot of games for us, which is just exactly what I wanted. Again, don't know who that is. So it's getting there. Some of the youngsters are finding their form and getting some game time for us. Kylian Philippe is another one of these ones that's actually getting some game time for us, which is great. Djorkaeff is having a lovely time out on loan in the 3rd tier. He's got like 5 goals in 7 matches, which is brilliant. His average rating is like 7.5, which is brilliant. And if he carries on playing like that, he's going to come back next year like a 3 or 4 star player for us, which means he's going to get in the team. Also, our potential signing, well, not potential, he's signed, but he won't be here until March. Is it Carlos Ruiz from Peru? He's already now a 3-star rating. My scouts sort of completely finished. I did him for 3 months in the end, and he's finally finished the scouting report. No, wait. I can't remember, actually. Point is, he's looking fantastic. He's getting lots of game time for his club, despite being only 17. I think he should be able to come here and jump straight into our team. Didac's round the corner, and he scored 15 minutes in, and Didac makes it 1-0 to Paris FC with only his 2nd goal of the season. But hey, that's just giving more cause to how good a season he's having already. Just needs to contribute a few more goals and assists, and he's right up there. His key pass stat is phenomenal, though. I wasn't even paying attention, and that happened. I thought that was in the first minutes of the game. Point is, what a start from us. Janvier here picks him out well, but Didac beats his man, gets a little bit of space, and that is a brilliant goal. Goalkeeper doesn't even move. I'd be disappointed if that was me, though. But there we go, a goal for Didac, 1-0 to Paris FC, and we are looking solid so far. I'm pretty pleased with the performance thus far, but we could probably do with getting a few more shots. However, possession and pass completion is massively in our favour, and you know how generally when that's in our favour, we play quite well, or certainly create decent amount of chances. Here we go, Cavale out on the right. We're so good at keeping the ball sometimes. Gape. Cavare. Almost playing 1-2s off their players now. Round the side for Cavare, and that's a terrible finish from Cavare. But, you know, he is a fullback, and that's not really what he's in the team for. But it's nice to see, even though we've got such a narrow system, fullbacks are still getting into the box like that. I think that kind of is one of the strengths of our system in a way, actually, that we do still actually have that weird width about ourselves. Hassan, okay, let's close him down a little bit more then. Half time, I'm pretty damn pleased with the performance. Wasn't the worst. I think it was better than that. I think we were really good. Nice to see Cherry get on the ball a little bit more. He was a little bit anonymous in the first half, but still got a good rating, so that's always nice. He might be... I might switch him out for Hugo in the second half and get a bit of a different dimension, because Hugo's much quicker and is much better dribbler. So perhaps that might be... That's a good way of changing things up as well. Bringing in Hugo... Oh, dear. Bringing in Hugo is very useful to have, because he is a totally different type of player. But he still plays the same role quite well. He just gives you a different dimension, which is lovely to have, and something that we haven't really had for ages on this save. In fact, at all, really. Right. Everything is still looking solid. Oh, here we go. Go on, Cantini. Great strike, and it's in the back of the net. Sebastian Cantini makes it 2-0 to Paris FC, and, well, what more do you want? What a brilliant performance again. This is similar to the performance against Lille, except we're really dominating them. I think that might be because we're the home team. The point is, you can still play counter-attacking football and be fantastic at home. And with a set-piece specialist like Cantini, again, poor goalkeeping there from Pouplan, but it is 2-0 now to Paris FC, and I'd like to think that we should have this game in the bag now with the 2-0, but... as we've seen it so many times in the past, that can all go wrong. Pouplan's long ball downfield is plucked out of the air by Quinten Pereira. Lovely ball in behind for Cherry, but I don't know if he's quite got the pace, but he has been fouled by Lecker, and that is going to be a red card for Nice as well, and that is game over, surely. Down to 10 men as well. He didn't quite have the pace to get on the end of that, and that's... I'm actually tempted to bring him off here and get Hugo on for a little while. Particularly as we've got a tired defence now and they're going to be down to 10 men. Maybe a little bit of pace in there might just do the trick for us. Plus, you know, Cherry's still putting a 7.5 performance, so I'm happy with that. But maybe we just need something a little bit different now against the... because they're going to change their strategy. They're going to have to, really. I'm also going to encourage them while we're here, since he's going to take 8 million years to take the free kick. We may as well make ourselves useful during that time. So 2 goals to the good against 10 men. We should be home and dry, but a 3rd goal would make me feel a lot more confident about that. Let's just see. Might even be tempted to make it now, just to sort of get some tired legs off and maybe give someone a little chance here. I'm tempted to... who do we bring out? Who's played the worst? Bulens has probably been the worst player on the pitch, and he's still been fairly alright. We're going to get... and he is booked as well, so we'll get Gamiet on, play him a little bit deeper. He's still got a hell of a long shot on him, so you just never know what's going to happen. This has been one of the sort of archetypal performances of this tactic, and it's what I like to see from us. Okay, we'll close him down. I might just leave it as it is for now. I don't really think we need to make that 3rd sub unless we get an injury. I think I'm quite content with how things are going. Lovely little pick out there. Cantini's just in the right place there. Pereira. I'd like to see Hugo maybe get himself a goal, or Didac's another one perhaps. Who knows? Such width that we've got as well. Didac's, look at the space. Hugo's got a man running real, and it's Quinten Pereira. What a strike that is from Pereira. Oh, Paris FC 3. Oh, Nice, this is our best performance of the season. And I'm glad this is a live com, actually. I wasn't expecting this as a result. Lovely little ball around the corner from Hugo. What about that for a pick out? And a wonderful finish there from Quinten Pereira. The 2 players that I felt needed to do a bit more have done a lot today, and that's Didac and Pereira. 3-0 to Paris FC. Lovely performance, and a clean sheet would be lovely to go with it as well. And that would actually put us close to the top half. 16 points from 12 matches is okay with me. And actually, man of the match there was Sebastian Cantini. So great work from him, but Didac has also put in a really solid shift, as did Pereira. Cherry did okay. In fact, he did very well. Not much off the bench from Hugo. We did get an assist, though, so I'm surprised he's got such a low rating, really, but we'll let that one slide. There we are, though. We are now 7 points above the relegation places and looking quite solid for maybe even a mid-table finish. Who knows? Yeah, we're doing all right, actually. I'm quite pleased with ourselves. Considering the lack of players we've actually been able to bring in, I think we've signed the right players, and I think the likes of Cherry is still going to prove useful for us for the rest of the season, but having those other guys is going to be great as well. So, let's see. I just need to keep an eye on the PSG game that we've got coming up eventually, because I want to make sure that we can live comment it, so I don't want to have to do it like the next game. I want to make sure that we space them out evenly in between. Perhaps, actually, this is going to be confusing because it's after Christmas, isn't it? So there's going to be a bit of a gap in there, which means I could probably get away with doing the Stade Brestois game. Oh, no, actually. Should we do Angers? Because it's a sort of lower league battle against them, and the other games around might be a little bit, then so's that. But it is an away game. It might be nice to see how we can cope on the road in a live com. Because then we could do something like here and then PSG. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. I just want to make sure that we don't get too little in an episode, but also don't want to have to try and do too much, particularly if there's like a January in it as well with winter break and whatnot. So guys, if you like what you're seeing, please do drop a like on the video, and if you'd like to see even more than that, please subscribe to my channel for more Outcaster icons and From the Shadows in your inbox every single day at 5:30 and 8 o'clock. And I will see you guys in the next episode for a game against Angers. Let's see if we can get a great win there too. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.